Hello and welcome to 4 ways to travel more in 2024 with less money. So now, if you want to travel more next year, 2024, which is just around the corner, you have a few options. A, either you make more money, which is always great, so you get to spend more, or B, which is what we're going to be focusing on today, is you make your money go further, meaning you learn how to quote unquote be smart with your money, find amazing deals really easily, really quickly, and stretch your money so that for the same amount of money you would have spent on one vacation, you can go on 2, 3, maybe even 4 trips. Who knows? So let's dive right in. So, number one thing that we're going to be doing, which I already did for next year, is finding cheap flights. If you are very specific with the dates that you have to travel, quote unquote, because that's the only days off that you get, or you have kids in school and you need to plan around that, this is a little bit more complicated, but not impossible. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is go on a flight searching website, for example, skyscanner.com, put in your location, so wherever in the world you're based, your main airport, your closest airport, and then select to anywhere. In some places, some websites, it's also called everywhere. So just put that in, anywhere, everywhere, and see what comes up. It will give you lots of options with the cheapest prices to literally any destinations in the world. You can also be more specific with the dates, for example, in June or in February, or just plan it around whatever dates are given to you. If you're more flexible and you can just plan whenever you want to travel, great, even more flexibility, you will find amazing deals. Now, what you can also do is sign up for flight websites that send you deals. For example, Next Departure. They have a free version, they have a paid version. I'm not affiliated with them, but this can be a good option for you to check out too. Now, these websites, they can send you flights from your home airport, let's call it like that, to any destination. And then if something comes up that is of interest for you, you can go book that. Now, what I also always do is I have a lookout for cheap airlines, budget airlines, so they're called, and I look where they're going or if they have any deals coming up. A lot of times they have promotions, so if you are into travel and you use social media, you might get advertisements. So I click on them and I check them out. So for example, we booked a vacation during March break to the Dominican Republic for $250 return during March break, which is high season. That was an incredible deal, so we obviously booked it right away. We also booked tickets to Paris. Not that I want to go to Paris, especially not in January, but once you're in Europe, there are so many budget airlines taking you to anywhere, wherever you want, for really, really cheap. So we booked to Paris, and then from Paris, I'm going to go see my parents, and then after that, we're going to fly to Saudi Arabia for another 160 Canadian dollars. So that's like 120 euros, let's say. There and back. How? Yes, exactly. How? So these are just simple flight hacks. Whenever something comes up, go book it. Don't wait. Deals often don't last very long. I also have a full training on how to find cheaper flights, how to flight hack, how to get deeper into this topic, especially when you only want to use certain airlines, when you have certain requirements, when you don't want to have too much of a layover, all these things. If you have certain requirements, anything that you need to do, I have a whole training on that, so you can check that out too. Now, number 2, what you can do is sign up for travel rewards. Now, this specifically applies to you if you're either American or Canadian or you live in either of these countries, because a lot of credit cards will give you travel reward points, air miles, airplane points, however they're called. If your credit card offers something like that and they give you a free sign up for it, because if you're already spending money, you're already paying for normal things in your daily life, well, you might as well collect points for that and then use it for free hotel stays or for flights. It's a no-brainer. So if you can use a credit card, I know not everyone can, but if you can, sign up for it and use it. Make it work for you. Now, number 3, stretching your dollar longer is very easy when you travel to cheaper destinations. So this means maybe going further away. This only applies if you have more time. Now, if you only have 1 week of vacation and you can't take more time off, I probably wouldn't fly to Asia from Canada or the USA just because it's quite far. But hey, you do you might still enjoy that. But for me, that would be too much travel for not enough time spent in the country. So if that's a no for me. I need at least probably not even 2 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks minimum for me to fly to Asia and to make it work for me. But again, you do you look into what feels good for you. Just remember that if you fly somewhere very far, you might get a jet lag, your body might need to adjust. So give your body a little bit of time to think about that if this is really the best option for you. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you can't do it. Always listen to yourself. Don't go with what other people are telling you. Listen to your own body, your own intuition, and then make decisions based on that. What I am saying is, if you have more time and you fly to a quote-unquote cheaper destination, you might spend more money on the flight. But in the destinations, the hotel, the food, the activities are usually a lot cheaper, meaning you can experience so much more than if you stay somewhere close to home and you end up spending probably the same or even more money than you would have in a more exotic destination. Does that make sense? Now, this is one of my favorite things, specifically if you have more time. Now, I used to travel for 3 months, 6 months, a year whatsoever, so that really made sense for me. If you only have a weekend, obviously you're not going to fly to Thailand or Vietnam or even to South Africa. Way too far. But make it work for you. See where you can plan it into your year and then try it out. Now, my next tip is to really think about the kind of travel that you want to be doing. The intention really matters. Travels is not the same as travels. There are so many different ways to travel. Some people like to travel and just stay in hotels and explore around them and just relax. Other people are like super food based, very sensory based. They want to try out all the different foods. Other people are very into the hiking, into the experience, into the adventure. There's no right or wrong, no good or bad. It's just what's of interest to you, what makes you happy, what is most memorable to you. And the best thing you can do is to ask yourself, hey, what do I remember most about my last travels? What comes to mind? What are the experiences that really stay close to my heart? When I think about travel, when I think about trips, what is it that I remember? What is it that comes to me that I'm like, oh my God, yes, that was amazing? Was it food that you tried? Was it the people that you met? Was it certain experiences? What was it? And then look at these experiences, find the the common thing, it's called like that, the common thing, and then see what your, I call it, lens is. The lens that you look through, the lens that you see, so to call life with. My lens is adventure. My partner's lens is food. He loves food. I like food, but honestly, I don't care about food. I can have cookies and bananas all days. I want to hike up the mountains. I want to have the viewpoints. I want the adventure. I want to experience beautiful, incredible places. This is what lights me up. He loves food. He can eat all day long just to try little nibbles here and there, just to try different things, see how they make it, how they combine certain things. And I'm like, I don't care. So again, there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. It's just what's of interest to you. And then if you're traveling with someone, keep in mind that your interest might not be the same as their interest. Just like my partner and my interests are really not the same in this area. So look at your partner, look at your children, look at your friends, whoever you're traveling with, and see what is of interest to them. And then make sure that you plan that into your travels, because this will really make sure that you can have the most incredible trip. Because if one person doesn't get what they want, they won't have the same quality of a trip as you will. And that will lead to conflict. I guarantee you. So make sure that you have that. Make sure you know what your lens is, what your other people's friends, travel buddies' lens is. And then think about, what kind of travel do we want to do? Do we want to have everything planned in advance? Do you want it to be more freestyle? Do we want a luxury trip? Or do we really want to experience the culture and the people and sit with people, talk to people, experience people in their homes, really experience the culture and how they do things? And then if so, how do we want to do that? Do we want to do that with guided tours that provide cultural experiences? Do we want to try out hitchhiking or couch surfing and staying with locals? Or do we just want to stay in beautiful luxury hotels? Or do we want something in between? Again, there's no right or wrong. There's really just what is best for you. Again, we're not traveling for anyone. We're not traveling for Instagram. We're not traveling to take beautiful pictures. We're traveling for ourselves. I have so many trips that I've never shared a picture of on Instagram. Why? Because they're my trips, they're my memories, they're for me. I'm not traveling for the world. I'm traveling for me, for my life, for my experiences, for my memories, for my stories, and so should you. So think about the kind of experience you want to create and then go from there. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you have any other questions, please let us know, drop a comment, send in a voice note, and we'd be happy to help you. And we wish you a very successful, travel-filled 2024.